Texas's TikTok ban is upheld. It's December 15th, 2023, and these are your headlines. An Austin-based federal judge rejected a challenge to Governor Greg Abbott's ban of the social media platform TikTok, at least on government-issued devices. In July, the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University filed a lawsuit against Governor Abbott and other state officials on behalf of the Coalition for Independent Technology Research. Now, that group claimed that Texas was violating citizens' First Amendment rights by, quote, imposing a broad restraint on the research and teaching of public university faculty conducting studies on TikTok's effects on users. However, on Monday, U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman upheld the ban, saying that ultimately the court found that Texas's TikTok ban was reasonable, a viewpoint-neutral restriction on non-public forum, and therefore is constitutional. Furthermore, the judge wrote that while the court recognizes the importance both of protecting academic freedom and supporting public employees' right to free speech, the court finds that these important ideals do not dictate the appropriate framework for this case. He added that the ban is not a restraint on speech in a public forum, but rather a restriction on a non-public forum motivated by Texas' data protection concerns regarding TikTok, an app owned by a company based in China. Indeed, that's what led to Abbott's order in the first place. Last year, Abbott ordered all Texas state agencies to ban using the Chinese social media app on government-issued devices. In a letter sent out to all state agencies, Governor expressed his concern about revelations of data harvesting from the app, which could share sensitive information with the Chinese government. And shortly after the governor's directive, Texas's public universities banned students from accessing the Chinese-owned social media app on school internet networks, public Wi-Fi. The use of TikTok is currently banned by the U.S. Department of State, the U.S. Department of Defense, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Another story out of Fort Bend ISD. A teacher at a high school at Fort Bend ISD has been arrested on a warrant out of Georgia for the trafficking of a person for sexual servitude. The teacher, who has not been named, was arrested on Wednesday. The district informed parents of the teacher's arrest in an email. The school district has said that the teacher, who taught at Clements High School, resigned from the position on December 6. Spokesperson for the district said they're unable to share more details of the incident. Now, Clements High School is the exact same school where just 3 days earlier, their principal was arrested and charged with soliciting a prostitute after being busted in an undercover sex trafficking sting. Now, his name was James Brian Schillenberg. He had been the principal of the high school since 2022 and was previously the principal of James Bowie Middle School. Brady Gray, who's the president of the Texas Family Project, says that this shows that parents need to get engaged with their children's schools. He said, time and time again, we are bombarded with stories of teachers and administrators tasked with educating and caring for our children who are found out to be predators and pedophiles. Parents must get engaged, attend school board meetings, get to know teachers and administrators, learn who has influence to and over their children. But we also must ask ourselves, how does this keep happening? How do these people continue to gain positions of authority over our children? And what are these schools doing to prevent it from continuing?
If you're not watching the Luke Macias Show, then you are not as engaged as everybody else is in Texas who's trying to make a difference, knowing exactly what's going on so that they can take action on the things that really matter. Guys, watch us on the Roku app for Texas Scorecard. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Get engaged, get more informed, so together we can actually make a bigger difference on things that matter for the future of Texas. God bless you.
Lastly, Texas has adopted new school library standards as required by state law designed to protect children from sexually explicit content. The state's first ever mandatory school library collection development standards will apply to all materials at all public school libraries in Texas, classroom libraries, and online catalogs. According to the new standards, school districts are responsible for ensuring their school libraries implement and adhere to these collection development standards. However, it will still be up to parents to verify that their local school officials are actually in compliance with the law. The Texas State Library and Archives Commission, also known as TSLAC, developed the standards with input from the State Board of Education in compliance with House Bill 900. HB 900 required a majority of SBOE members to approve the proposed school library standards before TSLAC adopted them, and they set a January 1st, 2024 deadline for final adoption. So, on Wednesday night, SBOE members voted 13-1 to approve the standards. Aisha Davis, a Democrat from Dallas, was the lone vote against approval. TSLAC unanimously adopted the standards yesterday. Texas lawmakers passed HB 900, also known as the Reader Act, in response to months of complaints from parents about age-inappropriate books with graphic sexual content that school district officials refused to remove from their children's campus libraries. TSLAC began drafting the library standards outlined by HB 900 over the summer in consultation with SBOE members who reviewed an earlier draft and provided feedback. HB 900 took effect on September 1st amid a legal challenge from book vendors and publishers who opposed the law's requirement that vendors rate books based on their sexual content. However, as SBOE member Tom Maynard noted, the court never blocked the section of HB 900 requiring new school library collection development standards. For more of today's stories, head to TexasScorecard.com.